So let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the egg in the fridge. For decades, we have been told the same scary story. Eggs are packed with cholesterol, and cholesterol clogs your arteries. Therefore, eggs are bad. End of story. Millions of people have lived their entire adult lives avoiding the yolk or limiting themselves to just 2 eggs a week based on this belief. But here is a very simple question that rarely gets asked. Is that belief actually current, or is it just outdated medical advice that somehow stuck around like a bad rumor? Today, we are going to crack this open. We are going to look at what actually changes in your body when eggs become a part of your daily routine. We are talking about your energy, your focus, your skin, your blood work. We will dive deep into the brain, and I am also going to talk about one organ that almost never gets mentioned in this conversation, even though it is one of the biggest beneficiaries. Hi, I am Dr. Maria, and this is not about fear-mongering, and there are no lectures here. Just facts, logic, and a practical look at the science. Let us get into it. Let us start with the basics. What is actually in an egg? Because once you understand the composition, it becomes very obvious why this food is so unique. One large egg contains about 6 to 7 grams of protein, but this is not just any protein. This is a complete protein. In the nutrition world, that is a big deal. It means it contains all 9 essential amino acids. These are the building blocks that your body cannot make on its own. You have to get them from food. Eggs provide these amino acids in a ratio that is almost perfect for humans. Your body uses them to build and repair muscle, to create hormones and enzymes, and to fuel your immune cells. Now, I often hear people say, well, I eat Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, I get my protein there. And yes, those are great foods. But the protein in an egg is special because of how well we absorb it. The bioavailability is enormous. In fact, for decades, the egg has been the gold standard that scientists use to measure the quality of other proteins. But that is just the beginning. The real magic happens when we look at the yolk. This is where things get interesting. A lot of people, especially if you grew up in the 90s, still throw away the yolk and just eat the whites. If you do that because you prefer the taste, fine. But if you do it out of fear, I am telling you straight up, it is a mistake.
Their protein is fast-acting and complete. For older adults, maintaining adequate protein intake is directly associated with preserving muscle and staying physically active for longer. Second, the brain, focus, and mood. Remember choline. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Eggs also contain small amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, especially if the hens were fed a quality diet. Omega-3s are crucial for the fluidity of your brain cell membranes and for managing inflammation. There is interesting data showing that people who eat a more complete diet where eggs appear regularly tend to report more stable moods. It is not that eggs are an antidepressant, but they provide the raw materials your brain needs to produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. You cannot build a house without bricks. Third, the heart and arteries. Okay, this is the big one. The controversy. For decades, we were told that dietary cholesterol from eggs directly raises your blood cholesterol and causes heart attacks. An entire generation grew up scared of the omelet. Yes, one egg has about 180 to 200 milligrams of cholesterol. But here is the nuance that changes everything. The cholesterol you eat has a surprisingly small impact on the cholesterol in your blood for most people. Your liver produces the vast majority of your cholesterol because it is essential. You need it to make hormones, vitamin D, and cell membranes. When you eat more cholesterol, your liver simply downshifts its own production. It is a self-regulating system. In the vast majority of people, eating eggs daily does not significantly raise bad LDL cholesterol. In some people, it can actually improve your good HDL cholesterol, which is associated with vascular protection. Large-scale population analyses have concluded that for healthy people, eating 1 egg a day is not associated with an increased risk of heart disease. Now, I have to give you the clinical caveat. If you have diagnosed type 2 diabetes or a severe genetic cholesterol condition called familial hypercholesterolemia, you need an individualized approach. Talk to your doctor. But for the average person, eggs are not just safe, they can be protective. Fourth, weight and appetite control. Another common fear is that eating the yolk will make you gain weight. In practice, the opposite often happens. Eggs are incredibly satiating. The protein and fat keep you full for hours. Studies have compared a breakfast of eggs to a breakfast of a bagel or pastry with the same calories. The group that ate eggs ended up consuming significantly fewer calories throughout the rest of the day, sometimes up to 300 fewer calories simply because they did not feel the urge to snack. They felt stable. Now, I promised I would mention an organ that usually gets left out of the conversation. It is the liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is incredibly common. Estimates suggest that between 20 and 40% of adults have some degree of fat buildup in their liver, and most do not even know it until they get an ultrasound. This is where choline comes back into the picture. Choline is essential for transporting fat out of the liver. If you do not have enough choline, fat gets stuck in your liver cells. Eggs are one of the best dietary sources of choline. So by eating eggs regularly, you are directly supporting your liver's ability to process fat and stay healthy. There is more. Your hormonal balance relies on cholesterol as a raw material for sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. If you do very low-fat diets for a long time, avoiding eggs and other healthy fats, your hormonal system can suffer. This is especially relevant for women in their 40s and 50s going through the transition to menopause. Having adequate fat and nutrient intake can help buffer some of those swings. And finally, your bones, your hair, and your nails. The protein, vitamin D, and phosphorus in eggs support bone structure, and the biotin, zinc, and sulfur compounds are the visible signs of internal health. Many people notice their hair feels stronger or their nails are less brittle after adding eggs back into their diet. So the inevitable question: how many eggs can you eat? For most healthy people, there is no strict, universal limit. Studies have shown that 3 eggs a day is perfectly safe, and there are documented cases of people eating 6 or 7 a day for years with no negative changes in their blood work. That said, let us use common sense. For most of us, a range of 1 to 3 eggs per day is practical and reasonable. The key is that your diet should be varied. The egg is a tool, not the whole toolbox. And the cooking method matters. The best options are poached, boiled, or scrambled with minimal heat. Frying them in tons of oil adds calories, and at very high heat can create unwanted compounds. If you are using a pan, use a good non-stick surface and just a touch of oil. I do not recommend eating raw eggs. First, there is the small but real risk of salmonella. Second, raw egg whites contain a protein called avidin that can bind to biotin and prevent its absorption. Cooking neutralizes this effect, and, yes, quality matters. Eggs from pasture-raised chickens or at least free-range.
If you can choose organic or pasture-raised, you are what you eat, and the chicken is too. Quickly, let us kill a few more myths. Myth 1. Brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. The color of the shell just depends on the breed of the hen. It has nothing to do with nutrition. Myth 2. Eggs raise your blood pressure. There is no solid evidence for this. Myth 3. If you have gallstones, you can never eat eggs. The yolk does stimulate the gallbladder to contract. If you have large stones, it might cause pain. But many people with small, controlled stones tolerate eggs just fine. If you have a history, check with your doctor. I want you to leave with one clear idea. Eggs are not magic. They are not a miracle pill. They will not cure diabetes, and they will not make you lose weight by themselves. But they are an incredibly potent, accessible, and affordable tool for daily health. Protein for muscle, choline for the brain and liver, lutein for the eyes, vitamins for immunity, fats for hormones. Of course, context matters. If you eat eggs but you smoke, do not exercise, and live on fast food, the benefit is limited. Health is a system, but adding eggs is often a very easy entry point into that system. So here's a practical challenge. If you have eggs at home, tomorrow morning, prepare 2 for breakfast. Boil them, poach them, or make an omelet. Add some veggies if you can, and if you eat bread, make it whole grain. Do this for just 1 week. 1 week, and then observe. How is your energy, your mood, your sense of fullness and satisfaction? And then come down to the comments. If you already eat eggs every day, tell me what changes you have noticed. If you have questions, leave them below. If this video helped you, hit the like button. It helps more people get access to clear, factual health information. And subscribe if you have not already. I am Dr. Maria. Take care of yourself, and if they make you feel good, eat your eggs without fear. See you in the next one.